Have you ever caught yourself reflecting on a situation, wondering how you ended up agreeing to something you initially didn't want? Or questioned why certain conversations leave you feeling confused or doubting your own thoughts? You might be experiencing subtle manipulation without even realizing it. In today's interconnected world, we constantly interact with people, each with their own intentions and methods. While many of these interactions are harmless or even enriching, there are times when others' intentions turn harmful and their methods manipulative. This brings us to the complex, often hidden realm of manipulation. This video isn't just a casual discussion. It's an eye-opener, a guide to understanding the 10 most subtle yet powerful forms of manipulation, and most importantly, how to protect yourself. Why is this important? Because in our modern age, manipulation doesn't only come from individuals in our lives, it also stems from larger, omnipresent systems like the media and social networks. Gaining awareness of these techniques isn't just about self-defense, it's about reclaiming your autonomy and personal freedom. Today, I'll take you through this maze, helping you recognize and neutralize these tactics. From gaslighting that makes you doubt your reality to emotional manipulation that tugs at your deepest feelings, we'll explore these strategies together. By the end, you'll be equipped with tools to stay empowered and make decisions that align with your true desires and needs. If you're new here, I'd appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's surprising that only 3% of viewers are subscribed, so if you find this content helpful, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay updated. Let's begin with the first form, emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation is like an unseen chess game, where your emotions are the pieces and your mind is the board. Imagine walking through an enchanted forest where every tree represents a different emotion: joy, fear, guilt. A manipulator shakes these emotional trees to make you lose your balance. Often, emotional manipulation isn't obvious. It can masquerade as care, affection, or even silence loaded with unspoken meaning. A skilled manipulator distracts you, so you don't notice their true intentions. They start with small actions or words that seem innocent, but over time, these create a web of doubt and fear. One common tactic is guilt. Imagine a friend asking for a favor that feels uncomfortable or inconvenient. When you decline, they respond with a disappointed sigh and say, "I thought we were friends." Suddenly, you feel selfish for prioritizing your own needs. Another tactic is fear. Someone might subtly suggest that something bad will happen if you don't follow their advice or meet their demands. It's like being in a dark room, where the manipulator holds the only source of light, making you rely on their guidance. So, how can you defend yourself against emotional manipulation? Self-awareness. Take time to understand your emotions. What makes you happy, sad, or angry? Like a gardener, familiar with every plant in their garden, knowing your emotional landscape helps you recognize when someone is trying to exploit it. Set boundaries. Establish clear limits in your interactions. This doesn't mean shutting people out, but having the ability to open or close doors as needed. Practice saying no without guilt. And remember, you can't please everyone. Seek balanced relationships. Healthy relationships are like a dance, where both partners move together with mutual respect. If you are always dancing to someone else's rhythm, it's time to reassess that dynamic. Communicate honestly. Confronting manipulation is challenging, but expressing how you feel can be a powerful step. Saying something as simple as, "I feel this way," or "I'm uncomfortable with this," can disrupt a manipulator's tactics. Emotional manipulation is a complex and often harmful tactic, but by cultivating awareness, setting clear boundaries, and practicing balanced communication. You can safeguard your emotions and take control of your interactions. Remember, in the game of life, you are the ruler of your own destiny. Be vigilant about arguments that seem logical but are built on shaky foundations, such as personal attacks or sweeping generalizations. Logical fallacies are like illusions in a desert. They may appear convincing at first, but dissolve upon closer examination, leaving confusion in their wake. A fallacy occurs when an argument lacks a solid basis, even if it appears reasonable on the surface. Recognizing these missteps is key to navigating everyday communication and avoiding subtle manipulation. A common fallacy is the personal attack or ad hominem, where instead of engaging with someone's argument, their character or personal traits are criticized. For instance, during a political debate, an opponent might deflect from your points by questioning your background or education. This tactic is like throwing sand in your eyes to distract you from the real issue. Another frequent misstep is the hasty generalization, where limited examples or personal experiences are incorrectly applied to an entire group. It's like spotting one bird flying south and assuming all birds must migrate the same way. This type of fallacy often fuels stereotypes and misunderstandings, creating fertile ground for prejudice. Then there's the slippery slope fallacy, which claims that one small step will inevitably lead to a chain of disastrous events. For example, suggesting that letting a child stay up late once will lead to chronic sleep problems exaggerates the potential consequences and preys on fear of the unknown. To protect yourself, educate yourself about these logical pitfalls. Understanding their forms is like having a guide in a maze. When evaluating arguments, ask whether they address the core issue and are supported by solid evidence. Cultivating critical thinking is essential. Don't accept claims at face value. Investigate and seek proof like a detective pursuing the truth. Also, avoid using fallacies yourself. Focus on facts and logic to foster constructive, honest dialogue. In essence, staying alert to logical fallacies is like holding a compass in a sea of deceptive arguments. It keeps you anchored in reason and truth, protecting you from being swayed by arguments that seem golden but are as insubstantial as air. Gaslighting, a subtle yet insidious form of emotional manipulation, seeks to make you question your perception of reality. It's akin to someone rearranging your surroundings and denying it happened, leaving you doubting your senses. This tactic erodes self-confidence and clarity by distorting your sense of truth. One common gaslighting technique is denial, where the manipulator outright rejects facts or dismisses your experiences. It's like describing a vivid shooting star you saw, only to be told you imagined it. This invalidation undermines your confidence in your observations. Another form is the distortion of facts. A manipulator might twist the truth, insisting a conversation never occurred or altering its content entirely. It's like wandering through a funhouse of mirrors where every reflection skews reality further. Gaslighting can also involve trivialization, where your feelings and thoughts are dismissed as unimportant or exaggerated. By minimizing your emotions, manipulators strip away your confidence in your judgment. To counter gaslighting, start by trusting your instincts and grounding yourself in objective facts. Document conversations or situations that feel distorted, as evidence can help you see through the fog of manipulation. Seek support from trusted individuals who can validate your experiences. Empower yourself with self-awareness and resilience to resist the effects of gaslighting and regain confidence in your reality. When your concerns are minimized or ridiculed, it can feel like being told you're making a big deal out of nothing, even when what you're experiencing is deeply painful or serious. To spot and counteract gaslighting, trust your intuition and memories. If something feels off, it probably is. Keep a record of events, conversations, and your feelings, whether that's a journal or notes on your phone. These records can validate your experience and help you remember the details clearly. It's also helpful to talk to trusted friends or family members. Sometimes, sharing your situation with someone outside of it can give you a clearer perspective and reinforce that your feelings are valid. Self-care and self-affirmation are equally important. Build your self-esteem and remind yourself that your thoughts, feelings, and memories are valid. Practices like meditation or talking to a therapist can support your emotional well-being. Gaslighting is a form of emotional manipulation designed to make you doubt your reality. Recognizing how it works and learning to trust your perception are vital steps to protect yourself. Remember, your reality matters, and it deserves to be acknowledged and respected. Group pressure can subtly or overtly influence your decisions and beliefs. It's like navigating choppy waters, where the waves of popular opinion threaten to push you in a direction you might not want to go. This social pressure often taps into our natural desire to fit in and be accepted. It can be as simple as dressing a certain way, or as complex as adopting beliefs just to align with a group. In trying to avoid being the black sheep, we sometimes follow the flock, even when it leads us down a path that doesn't feel authentic. To resist group pressure, build strong self-esteem and confidence. Knowing who you are and what you value acts as an anchor in those turbulent waters, keeping you grounded when external forces try to sway you. Learn to recognize when you're being influenced. Sometimes the pressure is obvious, like someone urging you to do something, but often it's more subtle. For example, you might notice everyone around you adopting the same opinions or lifestyle, and you feel the need to follow suit. It's like being in a room where everyone speaks in one tone, and you instinctively adjust your voice to match. Practice saying no and set clear boundaries. You don't need to be confrontational, but being firm in your decisions helps you stay true to yourself. Picture yourself as a tree with deep roots. Even when strong winds blow, your roots keep you steady. Surround yourself with people who respect individuality and support your decisions. A supportive group can feel like a safe harbor where you can be yourself without fear of judgment. Most importantly, make decisions based on your own values and principles, not just what's popular. Sometimes, this means taking the less traveled road, but it's key to living an authentic and fulfilling life. Being aware of group pressure and learning to navigate it allows you to maintain your personal integrity and make choices that align with your true self. It's okay to stand out and make decisions that differ from the crowd. Be cautious when someone uses excessive flattery to win your trust. While compliments might seem harmless, they can be a subtle manipulation tactic, a sweet bait with a hidden hook. When someone constantly showers you with praise, it can feel uplifting, but it might also be a way to lower your defenses and pave the way for deeper manipulation. This tactic often plays on our natural desire to feel appreciated and valued. Imagine being presented with a magical mirror that reflects the best version of yourself, so captivating that you might forget to examine what lies behind it. However, it's important to stay mindful. When compliments are overly abundant or don't match reality, there might be hidden motives at play. Protecting yourself from falling into the trap of excessive flattery begins with cultivating a healthy self-esteem and a realistic self-assessment. By understanding your strengths and weaknesses, you develop a solid foundation for evaluating the praise you receive. It's like having an internal compass that helps you discern genuine appreciation from exaggeration. Pay attention to the context and frequency of compliments. If they come from someone who seeks favors or appear unusually frequent, there might be ulterior motives. It's similar to when someone constantly showers you with sweets every time they want something from you. Eventually, you begin to question their sincerity. Maintain a healthy emotional distance when faced with excessive flattery. Politely accept compliments, but avoid letting them sweep you away. Think of it as carrying an umbrella on a sunny day. It might seem unnecessary, but it's there to protect you if it starts raining. Seeking opinions from people you trust is another way to identify whether the praise is genuine or manipulative. Their perspective serves as a second pair of eyes, helping you notice what you might have missed. Genuine compliments tend to be specific and relevant, whereas manipulative flattery is often vague, over the top, and disproportionate. By building healthy self-esteem, critically evaluating praise, and maintaining emotional distance, you safeguard yourself against manipulation, ensuring your relationships are built on sincerity and mutual respect. Now, as you've made it halfway through this discussion, I applaud your effort to grow into a better version of yourself. If you'd like to support this journey, consider leaving a comment. Even just writing "mind over body" will let me know you've come this far. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Additionally, I've linked some books on Stoicism that have profoundly influenced my mindset and may help you cultivate a Stoic perspective as well. Be alert to situations where someone tries to isolate you from friends, family, or colleagues. Isolation is a subtle but powerful manipulation tactic. By cutting you off from your support network, manipulators make you more vulnerable and dependent on them, increasing their control over you. Picture yourself stranded on a deserted island with no one else to turn to. You become entirely reliant on the person who left you there. Recognizing this tactic involves noticing shifts in your relationships. A manipulator might question your friendships or plant doubts about others' loyalty, magnifying minor issues until they seem insurmountable. They could also directly demand you spend all your time with them, or criticize those around you, constructing a wall brick by brick that blocks your access to the outside world. To resist such tactics, prioritize maintaining active connections with your support network. Regular communication with friends and family acts as a lifeline, keeping you grounded in reality and offering alternative perspectives. Setting firm boundaries is another essential strategy. If someone tries to control your relationships or dictate your time, clearly and confidently assert your limits. Think of this as building a fortress where you decide who has access to your inner circle. Lastly, trust your instincts. If something feels off about how someone is influencing your relationships, it's worth investigating. Your intuition is often a reliable indicator when something isn't right. By staying connected, setting boundaries, and listening to your gut, you can protect yourself from isolation tactics and maintain your independence. Our instincts function like an internal alarm system, warning us when something threatens our well-being. If you ever feel isolated, it's essential to seek support. Talking to a counselor, therapist, or a trusted friend can offer valuable insights and help you reaffirm your sense of reality. Recognizing isolation tactics is critical to preserving your autonomy and emotional health. By maintaining open communication and trusting your instincts, you can protect yourself from manipulation, ensuring that your relationships are healthy, equitable, and grounded in mutual respect. Ultimatums are manipulative tactics designed to force decisions under pressure. They often create a false sense of urgency, cornering you with extreme choices such as, "If you loved me, you'd do this," or "If you don't do this, our friendship is over." These statements are red flags signaling an attempt to control your behavior. While ultimatums may seem reasonable at first glance, they often mask a disregard for your boundaries. much like a wolf in sheep's clothing. When faced with an ultimatum, pause and resist the pressure to respond immediately. You usually have more time than it seems. This pause allows you to gather your thoughts and evaluate your options carefully. Consider the long-term consequences of each choice, as ultimatums are often framed to make one option appear significantly worse than the other. Think of it as consulting a map to find a path aligned with your values and needs. Clear communication is also essential. Express how the ultimatum affects you and set firm boundaries to reaffirm your autonomy. It's like planting your feet firmly on the ground, signaling that you won't be easily swayed. If ultimatums are a recurring issue in a relationship, it might be time to reassess the relationship. A healthy dynamic should not be riddled with threats or pressure. Staying alert to ultimatums and managing them effectively ensures that your decisions are based on your own needs and priorities, not someone else's agenda. Blame is a subtle but powerful tool used to manipulate others by making them feel guilty. It acts like poison, creeping into your mind and causing self-doubt. Recognizing blame involves identifying when someone shifts responsibility for their actions or emotions onto you, often with statements like, "You make me feel bad when you don't do what I ask," or, "If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have reacted this way." These tactics are akin to looking into a distorted mirror that unfairly reflects your actions as faults. To counter blame, assert your reality and validate your feelings. Remember, you're not responsible for someone else's emotions or actions. Imagine holding up a shield to deflect the guilt aimed at you. Self-reflection is a helpful tool. Ask yourself whether you're truly at fault or if the blame is being unfairly projected. By doing this, you protect your mental well-being and avoid being manipulated by unwarranted guilt. Beware of situations where you're bombarded with excessive information. This tactic, often designed to confuse or overwhelm, can cloud your ability to make clear decisions. Picture a storm of data, facts, and figures swirling around you, making it difficult to focus. Manipulators may use this strategy to disorient you, akin to handing you a puzzle with too many pieces, hoping you'll give up and let them take control. To counter this, start by recognizing when you're overwhelmed. Pause and take a deep breath. It's like hitting pause in a chaotic movie to reassess the plot. Simplify the data, breaking it into manageable parts as if dismantling a complex machine piece by piece. Asking clarifying questions is another effective approach. Don't hesitate to say, "I don't understand. Could you explain it differently?" It's like switching on a flashlight in a dark room. Seeking external opinions can also help. Consulting a neutral third party offers a fresh perspective, much like viewing a map from above to gain a clearer picture of the terrain. Finally, trust your instincts. If something feels overwhelming or suspicious, it might be a sign of manipulation. Staying aware of information overload is crucial for maintaining autonomy. By simplifying, questioning, and seeking advice, you can remain calm amid the chaos and make decisions with confidence. Protecting your ability to think clearly is like guarding a fortress, your most valuable asset. When someone constantly changes the subject to avoid responsibility or confuse you, it's a subtle yet powerful manipulation tactic. Imagine being on a straightforward path, only to find yourself in a maze of dead-end conversations. Manipulators use this strategy to divert attention from sensitive issues, much like a magician performing sleight of hand to misdirect your focus. To counter this, the first step is awareness. If you notice sudden, illogical topic changes, it's a red flag. Recognize this pattern, much like spotting a detour sign that leads nowhere. When this happens, gently but firmly steer the conversation back to the original point. For example, you could say, "Let's return to the topic we were discussing." This is akin to retracing your steps to find the clear path again. Staying focused and setting conversational boundaries are essential tools to prevent being led astray. By recognizing and addressing topic shifting, you can maintain control of discussions, ensuring they remain meaningful and productive. Realizing the landscape has shifted during a conversation is much like noticing a detour on a journey. When you detect a topic change, gently steer the discussion back to its original focus. You might say, "That's interesting, but I'd like to return to what we were discussing earlier." Think of it as a captain redirecting their ship to its intended course after an unexpected turn. Stay calm and composed, resisting the pull of irrelevant topics. It's like keeping balance amid strong winds. If the topic keeps shifting, address it directly by asking, "Why are we changing the subject?" This is akin to turning on a light in a dark room, exposing what might otherwise remain hidden. Setting boundaries is equally important. If the conversation feels unproductive or repeatedly goes off track, it's okay to end it. Sometimes it's best to walk away, just like leaving a game that's no longer fair. Recognizing and responding to topic shifts is vital for fostering open, honest communication. By identifying, redirecting, and questioning these changes, you affirm your right to meaningful, respectful dialogue. In the broader context of navigating manipulation, staying focused in conversation is just one part of the puzzle. Across the 10 ways to recognize and confront manipulation, we've explored tactics used to sway our emotions, decisions, and perceptions in unethical ways. From emotional manipulation to topic shifting, each strategy sheds light on how manipulators operate and how we can protect ourselves. Awareness is our strongest defense. By understanding these tactics, we empower ourselves to spot and counter manipulation in everyday life. It's like having a reliable map in complex terrain, guiding us to safety. Manipulation can appear in personal relationships, at work, or even in public discourse. But with the right knowledge and skills, we can defend our minds and emotions, preserving our autonomy and integrity. If this message resonated with you, consider leaving a like or comment. It helps the algorithm share it with others who might need it. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights and explore our past videos, where you're sure to find valuable takeaways. Lastly, I've linked some books on Stoicism that have profoundly shaped my mindset and can help you cultivate a similar perspective. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 10 strategies stood out to you the most? Have you encountered manipulative tactics in your life? How did you handle them and what worked best for you? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. They're not only valuable to me, but also to others seeking guidance. Together we can build a community of shared wisdom and mutual support. See you there, fellow Stoic.